with Dr. Kalpana DePasquale from St. Augustine Ear, Nose, and Throat. Good morning, doctor. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing well. And, of course, Dr. DePasquale, you know, what do they say? No moss grows beneath your feet. Did you ever hear that silly saying?
Yes. I don't think anything's growing under my feet, thank goodness.
Right, because whenever you see Dr. DePasquale, she's like flying from one thing to another thing to another thing. She stays very, very busy. She has a lot of interest in addition to being a great mom to two wonderful sons and a great wife. But she also, in addition to being an ear, nose, and throat specialist with lots of, hundreds of patients who all around our county, she also does some work in the area of skincare and medical skincare treatments, right?
Absolutely.
So we wanted to talk a little bit this morning about Fraxel, which is a laser, right?
It is. We have so much misconception about what laser treatments are, so I thought this was a great time to clear it all up for people.
I want to get this is where, she has to deal with the history major, me in her life, has absolutely no scientific background or understanding of anything. So when I think of a laser, and I'm of the generation that I think of Star Trek, and, they had the phaser that would shoot a laser, and a laser would hurt somebody. Or I think of a laser, red light, pin light, that people might use. So tell me what a laser is. I mean, let's go all the way back. What is a laser?
Well, lasers are just basically based on different wavelengths. So they can be safe, and different wavelengths address different issues. And then we have different types of lasers that are different, that are utilized for different problems. So maybe you have one laser for a vascular lesion. You may have a different laser for wrinkles, a different laser for pigmentation, different lasers for ablative resurfacing. So there's a bunch of different lasers out there, and I think people start to assume that they're all the same, and that's where the misconceptions arise.
So when a laser hits our skin or a body part, what are you as a medical doctor, what are you hoping it does, or what it's going to do, but what is it doing?
Well, again, it depends on the different kinds of lasers. So some attract water, some attract, some are attracted by pigment, some are attracted by blood. So it just really depends on the different lasers. So what we're looking for really depends on what laser we're looking at. So that's broad. We're keeping it real broad right now and not honing down to one specific laser.
Take me along, but it has to be baby steps, Dr. DePasquale.
That's right.
Well, we're going to talk about the Fraxel laser in particular. So we're going to play a quick song. When we come back, we're going to talk about the benefits of that. It exists right here in St. Augustine, and Dr. DePasquale is going to tell us more, so stay tuned. So only the Beatles could sing a song about just being a day tripper. I'm not even sure exactly what a day tripper is. Dr. Kalpana DePasquale is with us. Do you know what a day tripper is?
I don't know that I'm sure what that is.
I mean, we take a day trip, right? If you wanted to go and take your sons to Orlando, that would be, quote, a day trip if you didn't spend the night, right?
That's true.
Now, whether you could create a song that would stand the test of 50 years, I'm not sure.
No, I don't think
concept.
So. Definitely that's not my area of expertise in creating songs.
Dr. DePasquale is with us, but you could sing. I bet you can sing, right? I know you have a musical ear.
Yeah, I do.
Because you play piano, right?
Yes, I do play piano.
Yeah, so, can you sing?
Yes, not in front of people, though.
Come on. What we're going to do is...
Privately, I'll do it.
I'll tell you, if you want to leave a message for us on our Facebook page of a particular song that you would like to hear Dr. DePasquale sing at least one verse of at some point, over the next 60 days.
Oh, gosh, I may not be coming back.
We'll present that. We'll fire up the karaoke tunes underneath her voice, and we'll see. We'll let you sort of rate her, just like they do with what do they call that? It's not American Idol, but now the big one, The Voice.
The
Voice.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm so disconnected from popular culture. Oh man, Dr. DePasquale is with us today, and we always talk about various healthcare topics. And today we're talking about lasers and all the different things that cutting edge technology can do for you, and in particular, a Fraxel laser, which you have at your offices both here and up in Ponte Vedra, correct?
Actually, it's only in one office.
Oh, okay.
We have one Fraxel laser, not two.
Does it have wheels on the bottom? Can you move
does,
it?
yeah. You can move it, but we try not to move it a whole lot. It's
Right.
a big machine, so we try to keep it in one location.
So what does this magical Fraxel laser do? What can it do?
Well, we have a machine called the Fraxel Dual, and it actually has two settings, and we can decide which one we want. And sometimes in the same patient, we can use both settings. One of the settings is for something called hyperpigmentation, which we have spoken about before. That's when people have dark spots. So it can be used to remove dark spots on the face, on the neck, on the chest and décolleté area. I think we talked about that word before.
Yeah, big word. We like it. Now, a dark spot that you're would that be the same thing as I might say it's an aging spot?
Exactly. Same exact thing. So people tend to have them on their face, their neck, their chest, their hands. So it can actually address all of those areas. And the second setting on the laser is for wrinkling. So it's a different setting that we can adjust on the machine. And that is for people who have really deep wrinkling. So typically there are a couple more treatments involved depending on the severity of the wrinkling. The nice thing is that when we're dealing with the pigment issue, it's a one treatment thing. But when we have the wrinkling, it's actually a deeper treatment, and sometimes more treatments may be necessary depending on the degree of wrinkling that one has.
Interesting. Talk to me a little bit about age spots. Obviously, the Fraxel laser that you have here at St. Augustine Ear, Nose, and Throat here in St. Augustine can deal with those issues. When do people normally start getting them? I mean, there's a difference between a freckle and an aging spot, right?
Right. So a freckle is something that, people have had forever. But even people with freckles, what they'll find is as they get older, those freckles start to turn into age spots. They become darker. There's more of them. They start to blend together. So those are, that's a different thing as opposed to freckles that you have some sparse freckles, along your face. And then everybody can get age spots. And typically the biggest issue is sun damage. So if you're laying out in the sun, if you're out there unprotected without sunscreen, you're going to have a bigger likelihood of having age spots than somebody who stays out of the sun.
It's about 15 minutes now after 8 o'clock, and that's Dr. Kalpana DePasquale. She's the founder of St. Augustine Ear, Nose, and Throat with offices over on the island and also in the Ponte Vedra Nice High School area. And we're talking this morning about the Fraxel laser, cutting-edge technology right here in St. Augustine that she utilizes. Getting back to aging spots just a little bit, and I know everybody's different, but at what age, Dr. DePasquale, do we start to get aging spots?
Well, I have seen those as early as 30.
Wow.
I see people of all ages, anywhere from, late 20s to, 100 and something. But there are actually people in this area who start to develop these age spots as young as 30.
So do you have to put your psychotherapist hat on when some 30-year-old guy like me would walk in bald with aging spots? I mean, how do you get us to not want to slit our wrists?
Well, we can just talk about ways to improve those things.
Oh, okay.
I can't improve the balding though. I don't know what to do with that, but I have people I can refer to.
That's next. Oh, interesting stuff. So help me out though. So you use the laser on the aging spots. Kind of walk us through because I'm a big baby. I want to know, number one, is it going to hurt? Number two, how many times you're going to have to fire the Fraxel laser at my aging spot to get rid of it? Is this a multiple step process? But first, get back to the key issue. Will it hurt?
So what we do is it's actually a very well-tolerated procedure. We put some numbing cream on the patient.
Okay.
It sits there about for 30, 45 minutes. So, people are really, really nice and numb by the time we get started. Of course, we check. We make sure everything's comfortable. So once they are feeling comfortable and feeling nice and numb, we remove that numbing cream off of their face, and then we get started on the procedure. Now, the procedure for a face takes about 15 minutes, so it's really not that long. And it's kind of a wand. So what it does is we break up the face into subunits. So I start with the face first, the forehead first, then I will go on to the right cheek, then the left cheek, and then the chin. So we just break it up into little areas. And all it is it's making a little bit of noise. It's got a cooling system on the end of the wand, and it feels like little tiny pinpricks. But it's really quick and really very, very comfortable for people. And, I think the bottom line is that the end result always determines how much you'll tolerate things. And the bottom line is if you're unhappy enough with how you look and the sun damage that's occurred over the summer and your wrinkling and fine lines and dark spots, you're probably willing to go through something like that to get rid of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there a limit in terms of the number of aging spots that you will deal with at one time? In other words, is there, can you, if there's more than 5, or maybe I have 5 on my hand and others on my face?
So typically, if it's just a few individual spots, maybe a Fraxel treatment isn't really the right thing for this person. We are talking about doing these procedures on people who have a confluence of age spots. I mean, it's pretty much, we have a Visia skin analysis that allows us to see the ultraviolet ray damage that they've sustained underneath the skin. We can also see how many age spots they have, but the people that we have that are candidates for Fraxel really have quite a bit of age spots. It's not like we can actually count them. So it's not 5, it's probably 100.
Well, probably the way for folks to get started and to make use of this great technology, this Fraxel laser technology, if you have aging spots and wrinkling and so forth, is to schedule a consultation, right?
Right. 461-6797, and we'll be happy to schedule a consultation for you.
All right. Once again, with offices located on Plantation Island Drive, which is just over the 312 bridge on the island, and also up on Hilden Road, which is just off of US 1 North here in Ponte Vedra in the Nice High School area. You can call 461-6797. And they'll be able to schedule a consultation for you with Dr. DePasquale and her team. 461-6797, St. Augustine Ear, Nose, and Throat. You can also go and learn more by going to saent.net. That's saent.net. 19 minutes after 8 o'clock, 78 degrees in downtown St. Augustine, on our way up to a high today of 83, a 30% chance of rain. Elton John here on 99.5 WSOS and streaming online at staugustineradios.com. You can also get us by just downloading the TuneIn app on your phone or your iPad and just type in WSOS and we'll magically appear, and you can just listen to us that way digitally anywhere in the world. We're spending our Friday morning, as we always do, with Dr. Kalpana DePasquale, and she's the founder of St. Augustine Ear, Nose, and Throat, with offices on the island and also in Ponte Vedra on US 1 as well. And we're talking about Fraxel laser treatments this morning and how they can benefit, obviously, wrinkles and other things.
Absolutely.
And one of the benefits that they have, a lot of people, even though they may be, on up in years and away from their teenage period, still have acne scars, right?
That is one of the biggest things we treat, because acne scars make people feel they lose self-confidence, and they have them, and they're just upset about them. So this laser is amazing in the fact that it can really reduce the appearance of the acne scars on patients, young and older.
And Dr. DePasquale with us here live this morning. And, of course, some of you may have surgical scars, right?
Absolutely. And that's the other thing, that people don't really realize, that a laser can improve it. We've removed stretch marks, surgical scars. I've had patients with animal bites on their face that the laser was able to get rid of that. So,
Really?
And that can be very devastating. I remember one of the patients I treated was, a young girl who got bit in the face by a dog, and it was smack dab in the middle of her face, and 2 Fraxel treatments removed it 100%, and she was so thrilled.
Wow. That's a great story. Obviously, there are other people out there who would be saying, hey, we have these lasers. We have the Fraxel laser. We can treat things, and if you come in now, you can get it done for $9.99, big blinking neon light. Once again, this is a medical procedure, right? So you need to be very careful. This isn't about trying to go to Walmart and getting the cheapest price on shampoo.
Absolutely. And it's funny, people don't realize that this is a medical procedure that can have serious consequences if it's not done by a trained professional in the right way with proper supervision. And there are places out there who say they have a Fraxel machine, but if you go onto Solta's website, that's the company that makes Fraxel, you'll find that machine isn't registered. Our machine was purchased from Solta. It wasn't purchased used or refurbished. It was purchased from Solta. It is registered under them. We maintain our warranties, and these are things that people don't really realize. And so when people can offer these procedures for a third of the price, you got to wonder what's going on there, because it may not be the real actual machine and it may not be maintained properly.
And indeed, Dr. DePasquale, the person operating the machine, using the machine, matters.
Absolutely. So in the state of Florida, you can have, it could be a physician, it could be a physician assistant or a nurse practitioner. Actually, those are all legal, but you have to make sure that the person who's training these, mid-level providers is really particular. So my PA does perform the procedures. She's excellent. I do them as well, but you really need to make sure you trust that person and make sure that person is an extremely conscientious person that pays attention to all the rules and all the regulations and does things in the right way.
Right. Well, once again, we encourage you to learn more about the Fraxel laser and the treatment that you can get right here in St. Augustine and St. Johns County. The best way to do that probably is to start out by going to the website avantimedspa.net, and that's Dr. DePasquale's operation, avantimedspa.net, or I guess they can call the office, right?
Absolutely. That's 461-6797.
All right. What's that number again?
461-6797.
She said, son, you'll go.
Rupert Holmes and Escape, also known as the Pina Colada song here on 99.5 WSOS. It's Friday morning, 23 minutes now before 9 o'clock. We're live in St. Augustine on this beautiful day, and it should be a nice day overall. Only a 30% chance of rain. If we see any rain, it'll be sometime after 2 o'clock this afternoon. A 30% chance of rain on Saturday. Good conditions, though, on Sunday. Even less of a chance of rain, and temperatures on Sunday could reach 85 degrees on the beach with sunshine. So how about that for the second week of October? Dr. Kalpana DePasquale is with me here live in the studio. She joins us every Friday morning. We talk about a variety of healthcare topics that would be of interest to you. We appreciate her taking time out of her busy schedule to be with us. And we're talking about something that she offers through her Avanti Med Spa, which is also located just over the 312 bridge on the island. And it is the Fraxel laser, and it can do all sorts of things, right, Dr. DePasquale?
Yes, it can. This Fraxel laser is an amazing tool that we utilize to get rid of stretch marks, acne scars, hyperpigmentation, wrinkles, stretch marks. So it's a pretty versatile tool.
Pretty magical thing, I guess. And you're still a relatively young person, but when you were coming out of med school and all that, did the Fraxel laser exist?
I do not think so.
Yeah.
It's been around for a while, but when I came out of med school was almost 20 years ago, so...
I didn't even ask that question. You offered that up. Anyway, she looks very young.
I'm experienced. See,
Yeah.
I want people to know that I have lots of experience.
But you look like you're 25 because you must use the Fraxel laser. Actually, you couldn't really use that on yourself, could you?
Yeah, you could. I mean,
How could you do that? Really?
Well, I can't do it myself, but I have people, I have
other
my,
people can do that too.
absolutely.
Oh.
And what's nice, actually, it's a good point that you bring up, because one of the issues that you face with lasers is dark skin is a little bit tricky.
Okay.
So, what I love about this laser, and one of the reasons I really liked it, is so many lasers out there are only good for light skinned people. And as we get into the darker skin tones, they're not really safe, because you can have issues with hyperpigmentation. So it can actually increase, or hypopigmentation, where you have white spots. So what I love about this laser is we can actually address the settings, lower them for people with dark skin, so that we can safely perform these procedures on people with dark skin also.
So some of our listeners, if they're out there and they choose to do something about wrinkles or acne scars or surgical scars, all these things that the Fraxel laser can help them with, what are they looking at in terms of downtime, time away from work or family or what have you?
So as I mentioned before, we have two different types of treatments with the Fraxel. The one treatment is for the hyperpigmentation. The downtime on that is really more of what we call a social downtime. You're not laying in bed. You're not, oh my God, I can't move. It's not like that. It's more that maybe you may not you plan to go to a wedding right after that, or maybe have a huge event. So we call that social downtime. So what we are noticed, people will have about 5 days of social downtime. First day or two, they may be red. Then they'll start to have some peeling that goes on. And when that peeling goes on, the skin that comes, the new nice skin underneath is so soft and really nice looking. So once that peeling process is over, at that point they can do whatever they want. Women have the luxury of covering these things with makeup. Men, I guess they could do it too, but may not want to.
Right.
And the other treatment is the one for wrinkles. The downtime on that is about 7 days, and it's a little different than what they experience with the other treatment. What they'll experience is maybe a little bit of redness and swelling. And of course, you can have some cases where maybe it's a little more redness, a little more swelling, but pretty much in about 7 to 10 days, it's gone. And again, during this time frame, it's not like you're incapacitated. You're just, may not want to be seen for maybe some big event. You want to plan accordingly.
There you go. All right. Well, if you have any additional questions, we encourage you to check out the website here, avantimedspa.net. That's avantimedspa.net. You can always call and schedule a consultation with Dr. DePasquale here in St. Johns County at either one of her locations over on the island or up near Ponte Vedra in the Nice High School area. You can call 461-6797. That telephone number again, 904-461-6797. We'll be right back with Dr. DePasquale. 19 minutes now before 9 o'clock. BJ Thomas here on 99.5 WSOS. It's about 13 minutes before 9 o'clock on this Friday morning. Every Friday morning between 8 and 9 o'clock, we're very, very fortunate, and we appreciate Dr. Kalpana DePasquale spending time with us. She, of course, is a medical doctor and a founder of St. Augustine Ear, Nose, and Throat, with offices located on the island just off of 312 near the 312 bridge, and also on the northern part of the county over around in the Ponte Vedra Nice High School area, right off of US 1. And so office is very conveniently located. And, of course, she's been helping patients here in St. Johns County for many, many years. And what this morning that we're talking specifically about the Fraxel laser treatment that she's able to offer at her offices and all the great things it can do in terms of dealing with large pores and discoloration and fine lines and wrinkles and acne scars. The list goes on and on, right?
Yes, it does. Even one of the things I forgot to mention earlier is it really works for people with irregular skin texture and also something called actinic keratoses, where you start to get those sun damage that are precancerous. So it's effective for that as well. And also people with melasma, which is what we usually call the mask of pregnancy, where they have dark areas on their cheeks. It's also very effective for that as well.
The mask of pregnancy.
That's right.
Man, if there's not, I feel for you guys, the other gender, you females, because from a guy's perspective, I mean, the whole pregnancy thing and, what it does to your body. And then I didn't even know that it did that.
Yeah. See, another one to add to our list of things that may not be so pleasant.
Because really, when you think about it, we guys are such babies. I think that's why. I'm sure you're not this way with your husband, but I think that's why women so often, like when we guys go, oh, I got a cut on my pinky.
Oh, God.
You're just like, there's no feeling of caring because you guys go through this whole childbirth thing. It's just, as a guy, we can't even fathom what that would do to us physically.
I don't think you guys could handle it.
I don't think we
sure
can
about
either.
that.
I readily admit, and I say this all the time, I have absolutely no doubt that women have so much higher of a threshold for pain than guys do.
Oh, I
mean,
think
we're supposed to be tough, but you guys are much better at dealing with pain.
Well, I mean, definitely there's a lot of pain and, discomfort involved with having children, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't trade it for anything, that's for sure.
No pain and discomfort, though, in being married to us guys, right? I mean, we're just easy squeezy.
Easy peasy, right?
See, I'm helping out your husband on this.
That's right. I'm going to get points for this, I'm
That's
sure.
right.
I'm saying this on the air.
Getting back to the Fraxel laser, though, there are obviously lots of different lasers out there. I mean, we pick up Mint Magazine or something, and there'll be people saying, here's a coupon for getting this laser treatment, or you see this or that all over the place. There are differences, and some of the other laser treatments that are out there involved, like CO2 lasers, things like that. Help us understand, at least as it relates to dealing with skin issues and wrinkles and scarring, what are the choices out there and how Fraxel compares to those options?
Well, that is a really great topic to discuss, because one of the things when people come to us asking about, fixing some of these issues that they're not happy about, the first questions we get is this like an IPL? And no, it's not like an IPL. An IPL is a completely non-ablative procedure. So it works for little, little spider veins, little rosacea, broken blood vessels, and things like that. So it's a really small procedure, and it has to be repeated multiple times to get an effect. So it's not going to address the big issues that Fraxel addresses. And then the CO2 is sort of on the other end of the spectrum where it's completely ablative, meaning it's just going to really remove that top layer of skin. So the issue with the CO2 laser is that the downtime is significantly greater. You can have downtime lasting for about 2 weeks. There's a lot more post-care that's involved in these procedures as opposed to Fraxel, where the post-care is very simple and not so major compared to some of the ablative treatments that are out there.
That was a good summary. You know,
hopefully that makes sense to
really
everybody.
Good, man, and I can tell you because this is radio and you can't see anything. Dr. DePasquale just did that without reading from any notes. Just flows, right?
Well, I have to explain it all the time, so it just flows out after a while.
No, it's good stuff. All right, so obviously very compelling, this treatment, and of course having it administered by professionals like Dr. DePasquale and her team makes it especially appealing. Cost always an issue, of course, but for some early callers, right now, we can give them a discount, right?
That's right. The first 5 callers, we're going to give them 20% off their Fraxel treatment, which is a pretty big deal and something I don't usually do, but I'm doing it because I'm on the radio with Kevin.
We appreciate that. The first 5 callers, we'll put that too on Facebook and give you the contact information. I know most of you are out there driving around and it's hard to remember all these phone numbers and websites. So if you'll check out our Facebook page at WSOS Radio, we'll make sure we'll put that up there and it'll make it easier for you to possibly connect. Any closing thoughts, Dr. DePasquale, before we let you go?
I just hope everybody has a great weekend out there. I'm a little excited that we have no rain on Sunday, so I'm really, really looking forward to that. And other than that, I'm just happy it's fall.
Once again, learn more about this Fraxel laser treatment by going to AvantiMedspa.net, and Avanti spelled with an I, AvantiMedspa.net. And if you just Google, which I've done before, you just Google Dr. DePasquale and St. Augustine, Avanti pops up as well as St. Augustine Ear, Nose, and Throat. So you'll find those websites that way. And as I indicated before, we'll also put this information up this morning on our Facebook feed. So we encourage you to check us out at WSOS Radio. Dr. DePasquale, we will see you again next Friday morning. Have a great weekend.
You too.